So I became curious about Motability cars, which are specially adapted cars that allow people with various kinds of disabilities to actually take the wheel themselves. So I got in touch with Skoda, who put me in touch with Western Motors, who are a one-stop shop when it comes to adapting a car for Motability purposes. So I came along here and I thought I'd bring someone along with me who would be able to test the car properly. So I brought Jim Comiskey and we're going to see how he gets on.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed, numbness in my toe. It led me to seeing a neurologist who brought me to a neurosurgeon, and over a 2-week period, basically I was on the table being operated on. Top surgeon, absolutely top team, and everything seemed to just go wrong in the operation, which led me to effectively losing all my motor power from the waist down and most of my sensation. Still have some, but that's the situation. An awful lot of it is in the mind. A huge amount is in the mind, because in the first probably 2 years I felt there was this cage around me, and that's one of the things that you're fighting against all the time, this sense that you're driving around in this big thing, wheelchair. You know, it's terribly big and awkward. It can't get through doors, it can't this, it can't that. And at some point or other my mindset changed from that to, the problem is not mine. The problem is the environment. The problem is the obstacles that are in the way. And once I realised that, things became an awful lot easier for me. So it became easier for me to ask people for assistance, or to say to somebody, I can't get up on that footpath, or I can't open that door. It's just, the spring is too heavy. And it's now very easy for me to do that, but it wasn't easy for me at first to ask people for those things. I'm very lucky, because you know, I didn't have to change my work. Many people in my situation who've had a tree fall on them, they're a surveyor. They're not going to be a surveyor after, you know, they lose the power of their legs. They're going to find it very difficult to do the same work that they did, and they may have to change work. You know, so I've been impacted by some of the things that a disability impacts you with, but I haven't been impacted with some of the others. That disability is a terribly individual thing. And that's the prop for really most of the things you need to change in your life when something like this hits you. Well, driving is important from 2 points of view. I'd say from one point of view it's terribly practical. I have to transport my family, I have to transport myself, I have to get things just like anybody else. So it's no different from that point of view. It's a practical necessity to have a car in today's Ireland. We also, you know, go on holiday like other people, and I love to drive. I love to go abroad. We've been to France with the car, brought it on the ferry, driven around France, had a wonderful time, enjoyed the country, enjoyed the place, the people, and the car is the vehicle, literally, to do that. But the other side of it is the pleasure I get from driving. I get a tremendous pleasure from driving. It's just something that gives me a great sense of independence, of freedom, of going from A to B. And it's not, B is not the most important thing, it's the journey to B is the most important. That if disability takes something from you, in the sense that it removes an ability to do something at times, and it's, as I say, that's very individual. For one person it's, I can't walk around. For another person it's, I can't see. For another person it might be, you know, hearing. It might be different things. In my particular case, I would say that the car really levels all of that. You know, you've got an engine and the car that can take you anywhere and do anything, providing you've learned the skills to do it or readjusted yourself to new skills to do that. There's 2 steps in buying a car, and I've changed my car frequently enough to be hit by that. Every time you change car, you've got equipment in the car. In my case, it's quite minimal in the sense that it's hand controls, but for somebody else it might be hand controls, swivel seat, an adaptation to the handbrake. It could be, you know, indicator adaptations. It could be lots of things. So 5 or 6 things have to travel with you from the old car, and that equipment is not cheap. So you've got to build that into your economics of changing the car, which is important. You get some help to do that, but at the same time, you know, that is an important change. There is a logistical issue of changing the car over, in the sense that the equipment is actually fixed into it, like the hand control is bolted into the car. It's got to be removed and put into the new car. So are you going to be without a car for a long period of time while that happens? And it's another organisation you deal with. Now, I'm very happy to have come across Motability. They've been tremendous to me over the last couple of cars. Couldn't come across better customer service. But that isn't always the case, you know, and sometimes you can run into a difficulty of explaining something, interpretation, the right equipment, or maybe the equipment is designed slightly differently. It's the same purpose, same function, so it's a push-pull, but it feels different. And I've been through 6 push-pulls, and the last 2 have been superb. But the previous ones were okay, I managed, but they were stiff, or they put strain on your wrist. There should be one place that you can go and say, I like that car, I can test drive that car myself, which is something I haven't been able to do for the last 16 years. I've had to depend on somebody else. Happily, they're very dependable, and they know exactly what I need, but it's not me testing the car. And there's a little frustration in that. You're looking at this nice car and you're saying, I'd love to be able to drive that and try it out, but you can't. Western Motors are doing absolutely the right thing by joining up the process of buying a new car, seeing a new car, evaluating cars, and also when you get the new car, of getting the adaptations that are needed to make it perfect for yourself.
But with having Skoda on board, the vehicles that Skoda have in the Superb and the Octavia, the Yeti and the rest of the fleet, it suits the needs of a lot of people that require adapted cars. The cars carry very large apertures, the doors are big, high roofs, so it means access in and out of the cars is quite easy. And we noticed we were getting quite a lot of inquiries from customers that need adaptations in the cars. So for us it was easy. It made sense to approach our partner Motability Ireland and equip a car with a number of adaptations to highlight a one-stop shop where customers can come into us. We can introduce the features and benefits of the car and introduce the features and benefits of the adaptations in the car to suit their needs. So what you have is you've got the car purchase initially, you've got the purchase of the adaptations and the latest adaptations in the marketplace to suit the needs of the person. And then you've got the administrative side as well, which is the paperwork end of it. And that's vital for the customers because the VAT reclaim that the customers get comes back a number of weeks later, but it only comes if the paperwork is perfect. So we would probably see ourselves as experts in the field of all 3 now by having the car available. We've got the Skoda have supplied us with the different models. We've got the car kitted out with Motability Ireland, and then we would be expert in the paperwork at this stage as well, so we can provide the complete service to our customers. That car that we've put on, Bob, is on demonstration here for 1 year, and then we'll roll it again. We'll replace it with another model. That car is on permanent display here for both use through our as a courtesy vehicle for our service customers that require an adapted vehicle, and for test driving at any point for all our Skoda customers. We would feel we're in a unique position being able to offer the complete service. Bob, thanks a million for coming today, and we'd like to thank all the viewers for coming to see us today. If anybody would like to contact us, you can get me and this dedicated Skoda team at Western Motors here in the M1 Retail Park in Drogheda.